Hello guys, assalamu alaikum. Hope all of you are doing great. My name is Anis Fatma and today we are going to study about a very important topic which is known as status epilepticus. So status epilepticus is one of the most serious neurological emergencies that you will face in your day-to-day life. It can be life-threatening if it is not treated promptly and effectively. In this video, we will cover everything you need to know about the status epilepticus, what is it, why it happens, its different types, how it's diagnosed, and most importantly, how to manage it in the emergency conditions. So, without wasting any further time, let's get started. First thing first, what is status epilepticus? So, status epilepticus, in short, SE, is defined as the seizures which is lasting for more than 5 minutes, or the recurrent seizures without the patient coming into the consciousness between these episodes. Previously, it was 30 minutes, but recent guidelines emphasizes the 5 minutes to initiate the early treatment of the status epilepticus. So, status epilepticus can be classified into two main types. One is known as the convulsive status epilepticus, which is characterized by prolonged tonic-clonic activity, and the non-convulsive status epilepticus, or NCSE, which is subtle with no motor signs. It is often only detectable by the EEG or electroencephalogram. Further classifications include focal versus generalized status epileptical seizures, and according to the etiology, like acute symptomatic, remote symptomatic, and idiopathic. But one thing that's very important for us to know here is the difference between the convulsive type of the status epilepticus and the non-convulsive type of the status epilepticus. The next slide shows the causes of the status epilepticus. So some of the common causes of the status epilepticus include sudden withdrawal from the anti-epileptic drugs. For example, consider a patient who is already taking the epileptic drugs and suddenly he thinks that he is fine and he's no more facing these epileptic episodes and he stops taking the drugs. So the sudden withdrawal will might result in the development of the status epileptical seizures once the drug levels from the body drops below the baseline. Then we have some of the CNS infections like meningitis or encephalitis that can also result in the seizures that could lead to the status epileptical status. Then we have the stroke or the traumatic brain injury or the hypoglycemia or any other electrolyte imbalance in the body as well can also result in the seizures episode which lasts for more than 5 minutes. Alcohol withdrawal, especially in the adults, might also result in the seizures which last for more than 5 minutes, or the seizure episodes in which the patient is not coming to the consciousness between several episodes of the seizures. And then we have brain tumors or the structural lesions of the brain that could also result in these conditions. Clinical features that could be seen in a patient who might be suffering from the status epilepticus. So, in convulsive type of the SE, you will see that there is persistent tonic-clonic movements in the body of the patient. The patient has lost his consciousness, and as well as there is the combination of hypoxia, cyanosis, and autonomic changes like tachycardia in the body. While in non-convulsive type of the SE, symptoms can be subtle or mild, like confusion or altered behavior for straight 5 minutes, or there's continuous staring. The patient is continuously staring at some point or some object without any other movements in the body, automatisms or speech arrest in a patient straight for 5 minutes. And the patient may appear as psychiatric symptoms in some cases as well. Then, how to diagnose and how to investigate this condition further. So, initial diagnosis is obviously clinical, especially in cases of the convulsive status epilepticus. While in non convulsive status epileptical cases, EEG plays a very important essential role to diagnose it. The key investigations for the patients of the status epilepticus under the emergency conditions include blood glucose to rule out the hypoglycemia, electrolytes calcium and magnesium to rule out the metabolic or electrolyte abnormalities that might be causing these seizures, renal and liver function test in order to rule out the metabolic abnormalities that might be resulting from the renal or the liver failure. And then we have the tox screen, which is especially in cases of the unknown etiology. We also try that we do these brain imaging as well, like CT or MRI, in order to rule out the structural abnormalities of the brain. And then we often do lumbar puncture in cases we are suspecting the meningitis, encephalitis, or the infection of the CNS. Let's move towards the pathophysiology of the status epilepticus. So, status epilepticus causes excessive and prolonged neuronal excitation in your central nervous system. Initially, there is increased sympathetic discharge from these neurons, which is followed by neuronal exhaustion and the injury of these neurons. The prolonged seizures can lead to the neuronal death, permanent neuronal damage, and cerebral edema, as well as the multi organ dysfunction. Next, we are moving towards the emergency management, the step-by-step manuals that we would be following in the treatment of the status epilepticus. So first thing first, the stabilization phase, which takes around 5 initial minutes of the patient's assessment. We will do the primary assessment, then we will do the ABCDE method, which is airway, breathing, circulation. You are going to attach oxygen to the patient, gain the IV access, two large bore cannulas that would be put in both the arms of the patient. Then the next step is check the glucose. And if the seizures are due to the hypoglycemia, give the thiamine plus dextrose to the patient immediately. The phase 2 of the treatment includes the initial therapy, which takes about 20 minutes of the patient's assessment. Then the first line treatment is always benzodiazepine, and we give IV lorazepam because we have already taken the IV access of the patient. The dosage is 0.1 mg per kg, and the maximum 4 mg would be given to the patient. So you start with 0.1 mg per kg, and then you calculate the dosage, and the maximum dosage would be 4 mg. If the IV lorazepam is not given, or if the IV access has not been attained, we can also give intramuscular injection of the midazolam, and the dosage for that could be extended up to 10 mg for the adults. And we can also give the IV diazepam depending on whichever drug is available to us in the hospital settings. The stage 3 of the therapy is known as the second line drug, which would take around 20 to 40 minutes of the treatment. If the seizures persist, despite giving the lorazepam or midazolam or the diazepam, we can move towards the second line drugs, which can be used in the treatment of the status epilepticus. And these second line drugs include fosphenytoin or valproate, depending on whichever is available. If you are choosing the fosphenytoin for the patient, you will give 20 mg PE per kg to the patient. The next thing is, if we are done with the first line therapy, we are done with the second therapy as well, and the patient has still not recovered from the seizures, we can label it as refractory status epilepticus. So, refractory status epilepticus is defined as a condition which is not the patient in which the patient is not reviving in 20 to 40 minutes when you have tried all the initial treatments. So, in the next 40 to 60 minutes, you are going to shift the patient towards the ICU care. You will need the continuous EEG monitoring of the patient. You can also put the patient on the general anesthesia to stable down the seizures. And the general anesthesia options that could be given to these patients could include the midazolam infusion, or the propofol, or the or the pentobarbital. And you have to treat the underlying cause aggressively. You have to manage the patient according to whatever cause you find while you are sending the investigations. And while we are doing all of this, special care should be taken in some special scenarios. Like, for example, if you're dealing with the children, the dosing would be adjusted according to the weight of the children. If you are dealing with the pregnant woman, you have to avoid the teratogenic drugs. If you are dealing with the elderly woman, they are more sensitive toward the sedatives, so the dosage would be slightly reduced as compared to the young, healthy adult individuals. And is in case the person is of alcohol withdrawal case, you have to give the benzodiazepines stat, because they are immediately effective and they are highly effective in such cases. Then let's talk about the prognosis and the complications. Now, if the caregivers are already aware of the condition and patient has already suffered from the status epilepticus in the past, we can also give some of the treatments for the home rescue plan to the caregivers. And these treatments include the diazepam or the midazolam in the form of the rectal gel, which will be given in 10 mg dosage, or the intranasal midazolam, which will be given in the 5 mg dosage. Now, you have to instruct the patient on how to place the patient in the recovery position as soon as the seizures start. And then you have to protect the head, remove all the sharp objects, remove anything if the patient has in his mouth, and instruct them to call the ambulance within 10 minutes if the seizure is lasting longer and they are unable to manage it at home. Then we move toward the prevention and the education. So ensure that the patient is compliant to all the medication he has been prescribed by the doctors, and you have to avoid the triggers like sleep deprivation, alcohol consumption, and dim lights, etc. Then you have to also educate the family on the emergency rescue medications, as we have already studied in the previous slide, and provide the written action plan along with the proper dosage and the timing of the drugs, of the anti-epileptic drugs you are providing the caregivers. Instruct them how to use it so that they can effectively manage the patient at home as well. Now, what are some of the take home points from all of these slides? First of all, early benzodiazepine is life saving in cases of the status epilepticus. And as soon as you receive a patient in the emergency room, you have to do the ABCs, which is airway, breathing, and circulation management, as soon as possible. Then, if you think that the patient might be hypoglycemic, correct the glucose, give the dextrose drip to the patient. Now you have to escalate the treatment if the seizures persist for greater than 10 minutes, and family should know the home rescue strategy already, and they should be able to manage the patient effectively at home if the episode appears again in the future. And that's it from our slide. We will see you in the next lecture very, very soon.